What's that smell?
You will need 12 pure bloods to make the ritual work. Rita, is that you? He's here! He's here!
What it do, family? My name is Kyle, and I'm a victim of remote neural monitoring. My mission with this channel is to spread the word on remote neural monitoring and V2K gang stalking, for everybody can know what it is and be aware and know that it is a real thing that's happening around the U.S. and other parts. I want to say my story started back in October of 2019. I had recently started a job at a popular shipping company, and I liked my job. I picked orders. That's what I did, and I was good at it. I liked my job. Everything was going well. You know, the money was good. I liked the job. The people were okay. You know, I kind of liked the company. Everything was okay about it. I liked it, actually. You know, it was a good change for me. And everything was going well, man. With the job, I liked it. And I guess like a month into it, I started hearing things. And I started witnessing people acting suspiciously to me. But I wasn't sure. Like, I would ride past, because I was an order picker, so I would drop an OP. And I would ride past on my OP, and I would hear certain derogatory things coming from a certain area every time that I would ride past that area. And, you know, I didn't know what was going on. I was just wondering, you know, like, what's going on? But I didn't pay no attention. I like my job. I lived, like a block away from my job, so I would walk to work, you know. And everything was good, you know. The money was good. I was enjoying the job. I was good at what I did. And, you know, life was fine. Until, like, I started hearing more things at the facility. Like, I was hearing more people, you know, talking about me specifically. And what they were saying was, so-and-so is a homo. So-and-so was a faggo. I kept hearing faggo, faggo, faggo. Everywhere I went, I heard faggo, faggo, you know. And I was like, who are they talking about? You know, I was thinking, you know. So I made the assumption, like, you know, I'm hearing this every time I come around. I think these people are talking about me. Yeah, I was like, these people are talking about me. And people were just acting weird, man, like strange. Like, nobody in the facility, like, I'm a cigarette smoker, so I would go out and smoke. You know, nobody would really talk to me. I only talked to, like, one dude, you know what I'm saying? One dude in the whole facility I would talk to. And I would talk to him on an everyday basis. We would, you know, bum cigarettes from each other. Things like that, you know what I mean? I felt like he was, you know, a cool person, you know, a genuine person. So, you know, that's the only person I would really talk to in the whole facility. But meanwhile, all these things are going on with me where I'm hearing people talk about me specifically. Like, you know, you would hear people say things and you're like, hold on. That sounds like they talking about me. And so the guy I talked to was a white guy. And it was a white guy from Texas. And he's the only person I talked to. So, like, on my cigarette breaks, I would talk to him. and I was trying to make a conversation, with him, and trying to, see what we had in common. I was like, "Are you from Texas?" I was like, basically thinking in my head, like, those Texas guys, they like guns and stuff, and I like guns and stuff. I'm a gun enthusiast, so I talked about him. I talked to him about the weapons I had. I was like, "I know you from Texas. What do you like to shoot? Do you go to the range and things like that?" And I was talking to him, and everything was cool. You know what I mean? But something was just odd. It was odd. Something was odd. And I'm not the type of person to, like, throw myself on nobody. If you don't speak to me that day, that's just what it is. You don't speak to me that day. Uh, I'm not gonna be on somebody's nuts. You know what I mean? That's not me. But the talking and the homo rumors got so bad that it seemed like it was everywhere, everywhere. And I'm thinking, why are these people talking about me all goddamn night? All goddamn night. So it got to the point where, well, let me slow it down. It was an older guy that worked there that would be out there smoking with us on the breaks, and I recognized his voice. And we all drive OPs, so when you drive OP, you have aisles that you pick in. And I heard his voice in a like an aisle over or another aisle over. You could hear everybody talk about me. It was just like, that's what they did. But I heard him say that that ain't nothing but DeMarco and them. DeMarco the one that started that rumor. Crazy ass DeMarco. Talking about, well, let me slow it down. Well, he was like talking about Chicago. But that's another story. My nickname became Chicago. But I gotta tell you why it became Chicago. Um, so I heard the older black guy talking about it ain't nobody but DeMarco and them spreaded that rumor about Chicago. DeMarco crazy ass. And I don't even know who the fuck DeMarco was, really. I didn't really talk to too many people. I kind of stayed to myself, so I didn't had no clue who DeMarco was. So I started asking people, who is DeMarco? This is when I started asking. Like, I started, frantically, not frantically, but like, if anytime I was able to make small talk with a person, hey, you know who DeMarco is? You know what I mean? I heard, he's saying this and saying that, and on one of my smoke breaks, the people that was talking about me, it was so bad that it was getting on my nerves so bad. I took my break at a different time from everybody else, and I went out by myself. And this guy just happened to be out there taking his smoke break, and kind of he asked me for a cigarette, and I asked him. I said, "Hey man, do you know who DeMarco is?" He was like, "No, I don't know who that is." And I'm like, "Well, whoever it is, that's the dude that's spreading these rumors about me being a homo and a fago and all these things. You know what I mean?" And I was like, any man, that's gonna worry about what another man doing with his anus, he need to check himself. He might be the fago. So I told him this. I think the next day we was off, and so I was off for the weekend. I came back, and that day, when I came back to work, I was hearing the derogatory remarks from that area that I always heard of that. Now this area is an area where people pack at. So I'm on an OP that which raises me in the air. But these people that's in the packing area, they're on the ground. And I was hearing these remarks and comments that sound like, you talking about me. Like I heard somebody talking about my wife, talking about my children. And then the person said that they was my neighbor, which caught me off guard. Like, and he called me Chicago. The reason they called me Chicago was because I want to say the same day that I talked to the guy, the same day that I talked to the guy that I talked to on the smoke break, I talked to two more guys. The white guy that I used to talk to and exchange cigarettes with, and I talked to another black guy. It was a white guy and a black guy. And I told them about the situation I'm going through. I said, somebody's spreading rumors around this plant about me, and I don't know who they are. I told them that, like, look, I've been through a home invasion before, and I lost a good paying job because of it. I went to jail, everything. My upstairs neighbor ended up coming into my apartment and putting a gun to my fiance at the time's head while I was in the shower. And I end up assaulting him in the hallway with a firearm. And I did a little bit of time for that. In which I lost my job, I lost my apartment. Me and my children were homeless. Me, my children, my fiance were homeless for 8 months. So this job right here that I got was really a step up for me. So I told them about that. Now I live in Indianapolis, Indiana. But, I really don't associate with a lot of people from Indianapolis, Indiana because they have strange ways. And that's what I told the guy. The guy that I talked to was from Chicago. So he automatically assumed that I was from Chicago. So from then on, my nickname was Chicago. And that's an important part of this whole thing that I'm about to say. So from then on, my nickname was Chicago. So when I went back to work, and I was on the OP, and I was hearing these derogatory marks. I could hear them in my ears. These derogatory statements, being thrown at me, da 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 da, like it was somebody just being loud, you know what I mean, loud and ignorant as we call it, you know what I mean, and saying this and saying that. I killed his family, blah blah blah. This so and so know where my girls stay, da 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 da. And then I heard somebody along the way. I don't remember what time it was, but I heard somebody say, ain't they neighbors? I think so and so live right by Chicago. So I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know who this dude is. I never seen him. I don't know no DeMarco. You know what I mean? I don't know nothing about him. Who is this person got all this animosity towards me because I don't know. You know what I mean? And I'm asking questions, but I'm still hearing this shit as I drive past on my OP doing my orders from this specific area. When I go in this specific area, I can hear it loudly, right? And it sounds like it's coming from somebody that's on the dock. That's on the dock where the stuff gets shipped out at and they put it into the trucks, right? So I'm hearing it, 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 right? So I'm like, fuck it, I'm tired of hearing this shit. I come out, and the way my OP is facing, I can see the pit area, right? Like the area where everybody packed and all that shit and where the docks is at, right? So I raise my OP all the way up, and I'm trying to see this motherfucker. Who is this nigga? Who is this person talking this trash, right? And I don't see him. I raise my OP up, and it get quiet. But then I go back down and go back to work. As soon as I turn and go back to work, I hear him talking. I'm in that area, right? Because that specific area where I was picking at was the area next to, that area where everybody's on the ground. And so I'm just hearing, he just calling me a faggo and I'm a homo. Look at the way he drive his OP. Ain't he a homo? This blah, blah, blah is a homo. He's a homo. And I'm just hearing this type of shit all night long, right? But then when he started talking about my family and stuff, about he had killed my family and all this and all that, now he got me heated. Once again, I raise up on my OP and I'm just looking at the people. Now the people don't find this. The weird thing about this is the people kind of peek their eyes at me, but wouldn't look at me directly. Like they wouldn't just stop and just, gawk at me up in the air, just looking down at everybody. You know what I'm saying? They just kind of peeked their eyes and kind of, muttered amongst themselves. You know what I mean? Which I thought was weird. Because they ain't like, this guy's acting weird. That's what I'll do. I'm like, look at, I'll be pointing. Like, look at this nigga. You know what I'm saying? But, like, they didn't do that. They was kind of just muttering because the person that was talking to me was in their area. But he would stop talking anytime I would raise up. And what I would hear him say is, don't tell him. Don't tell him who I am. Don't tell him who I am. Right? So I'm like, who in the hell is this person, right? So I get tired of this shit, right? I go swing over to that department jump off my OP and go through that area. I'm looking for this dude, right? I can hear him. But when I get close, I don't hear him no more. Then I turn around, I hear him again. And I'm looking for him. I go check everybody on the dock. What's up? What's your name? What up? What up? What up? What up? I'm just looking around, and everybody kind of, some people are looking at me with the face like, the giggle face and shit. And I'm like, man, what the fuck is going on here? It's one supervisor that comes to me, and he asked me, what are you doing over here? I said, well, it was a particular old guy that I seen first. Well, it was a supervisor, and he asked me, like, what are you doing over here? And I said, who was that person shouting out all these profanities? Like, I'm looking for that person because they're talking about me. Who is this person shouting out all these profanities? And he said, I don't hear any profanities. And I'm thinking, what the hell are you talking about? Because I clearly just heard this nigga, you know what I'm saying, over here talking about what he's going to do to me and how I'm a homo and a faggo, right? So I look at everybody, and I'm kind of, the room is kind of spinning to me like, what the hell is going on here? I see this old cat that he ain't never really messed with me like that. Like, I got a couple cigarettes from him, you know what I mean? But you tell he ain't really mess with me like that. But I asked him, I said, you don't hear that? And it's like it's a dude over there by the dock just talking trash. Like, he just hard body, right? And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And at this point, I'm like, man, am I losing my marbles? I'm losing my marbles. So at this point, I had called my mother and her husband to come pick me up. Like, look, I'm tripping, you know what I'm saying? Come pick me up. But before that, it had been other days that I came home tripping from the same situation, to the point where I would come home and it would seem like when I came home, like, it's a bus stop by my crib, like where I stay, and I would hear, like, it seemed like I could hear the people from the bus stop talking, and they was talking about me. So I had a firearm, so I would have my firearm ready, staying up, waiting for this person DeMarco to come. You know what I'm saying? Wait for him to come do what he do. I didn't know who he was. I'm just trying to protect my family because I had already been in a home invasion. But so when the supervisor told me that he didn't know what I was talking about, blah blah blah. I called my mother, blah blah, and she came and got me. And I went on leave. I went on medical leave because I felt like, I must be tripping because I'm hearing voices. You know what I'm saying? I'm hearing voices, so I must be tripping. So I went to the emergency room, and I kind of, when I was seen, they took me back and everything. I kind of muttered to them like, I'm having, I got a rash, blah blah blah, and also, I'm kind of hearing voices. She's like, what? I'm like, I'm hearing voices. I'm trying to whisper it to her, you know what I mean? And they send me to the area for people that's, hearing voices. So I go there. They make me wait for a hella long time to even talk to anybody. And they give me the normal rundown, ask me about my childhood, ask me all this and all that. I really thought that I was losing my marbles at this point. Like, I'm thinking, like, man, I don't know what's going on with me. Like, all my life, I'm like, I might be crazy, but I don't never want to hear no voices. And it started happening to me. So the lady at the hospital hooks me up with a clinic for psych. It's a psych clinic, and she hooks me up with that, and I'm no longer working. I'm off work now, so I'm at home. I'm on leave, but I'm at home, and I'm hearing the same thing that I heard at work, the same derogatory comments and all that stuff. I'm hearing it, but it seems like it's coming from the apartment above me, right? It sounds like it's coming from it's like a dude saying, I killed da 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 da, and this nigga a homo, and blah 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 blah, and such and such and such. I'm hearing this, right? So I call my people, and they come get me, and I go over their house.